Good morning, Monday friends. This is a 30-minute upper body wake up on your Monday. I don't think it's a holiday, but maybe you have the day off, so maybe you spent some time over the long weekend on your phone, maybe a little bit more time than usual. So I thought this would be a really nice way to sort of wake the upper body up as we ease into the week. And it was also a request from a friend named Haley, who has been suffering in crutches for about 6 weeks now. So Haley, if you do this class, I hope that it makes you feel good and gives you some movement that you need. So for anybody joining live or recorded, I would ask that you just make yourself set yourself up with a pillow this morning. So go ahead and grab any pillow, either from your bed or from your couch, because it's gonna help the beginning of the class. It'll feel really lovely. So if you're joining, get yourself set up with any music that you'd like, with that pillow, and then we are going to begin on our backs. And you'll want the pillow, if it's a pillow from your bed, you'll want it sort of long way aligned with your spine. So the short edge in line with the back of the mat, and then the long edge in line with the long edge of the mat. Then we're gonna lay down on that pillow. So it might take a few moments to just get settled and comfortable. You might want the back of your head resting on it. You might feel comfortable with your head sort of resting slightly off of it. You might take a few moments to wiggle around the hips, the shoulders. If it feels good, you can extend the legs long, or take a bend in the knees, taking the feet wide, letting the knees touch. Or maybe allow the soles of the feet to touch and the knees to open wide. And then just rest your arms just comfortably out wide. Starting to feel here a little bit of opening across the chest and the shoulders. And begin to take nice deep breaths. And as you inhale, feel the chest, the lungs, and the belly fill up. And as you exhale, feel the belly, the lungs, and the chest fall. And with your next inhale, can you start to send your breath a little bit deeper across the shoulders, down the biceps, into the elbows, along the forearms, into the wrists, the palms and the fingers. Creating some space across the front of the body. And we'll be moving gently through some really nice stretches for the upper body. Everything from your fingers to your wrists, to the arms, the shoulders, the chest, the neck, and all down the spine. So just starting here by breathing a little bit more space into the upper body. Now on your next inhale, start to spread the arms a little bit wider. Maybe the hands lift off the mat, stretching from fingertip to fingertip. And as you exhale, wrapping your arms around yourself, give yourself a nice big hug, maybe grabbing opposite shoulders. Take another big breath in, stretch the arms open wide. Reach a little bit further. Try to touch both corners of your space. And as you exhale, give yourself another hug. Wrap opposite arm on top, maybe grabbing opposite shoulder. One more time, each side, lengthening and stretching as you breathe in and squeezing in, giving yourself a great big hug as you breathe out. Taking one more, just switching the arm that comes on top when you hug. And then once you've evened it out, we'll gently roll over. You can unravel your arms from your hug. Pause in a little fetal position, just to one side, taking a moment or two right here. And then start to press into the top hand as you rise up. You can take your pillow along with you as you make your way into a seat. So you might sit onto your pillow, or you might just keep it off to the side because we'll be using it later. Any comfortable seat will do right here, cross-legged, kneeling, legs long, whatever you'd like. And then just take a few big shoulder rolls. Getting into the shoulders, the upper back. Noticing how things feel right now. And you might roll both shoulders at the same time. Or you might sort of move alternating shoulders. You might do a little bit of both. You might get the upper body more into it. Whatever feels good to just start to wake up the upper body. Allow yourself to settle to stillness. Take a big breath in, reach your arms high, bring your palms to touch. And as you exhale, bring your hands to your heart. We'll get into the wrists a little bit here. So start to open your palms towards your face like you're opening up a book. And then keep going as you press the backs of the hands together. The fingers will automatically start to circle down towards the mat. Coming all the way full circle, bringing your palms back together. Try that a couple more times, opening your palms up. Bring the tops of the hands or the backs of the hands to touch. Really press them together. As the fingers circle down, then the palms meet back in prayer. A couple more times, depending on how fast or slow you're moving. Let the elbows move how they want to. Start to feel the wrists. Wake up. All right, now let's reverse that. So palms face away. Bring the tops of the hands together. Fingers point down and circle all the way around back to prayer. Just a couple more times. Seeing how this direction feels. Try not to think about it too much. Just let the body move. Finishing off. One more. Meeting back in prayer. And with your inhale, reach arms all the way up, palms touch. With your exhale, let's bend the elbows. So the palms are gently pressing together, the hands rest behind the head. Feel the elbows hug in as the chest lifts. Your head might rest on your forearms or on your hands. Feel the stretch through the backs of the arms, the triceps and the shoulders, maybe the upper back. Take a big breath in, puff up the chest. And as you breathe out, fingers interlace, palms press away around the spine. Inhale again, come back into that little back bend with the palms together, elbows bent, hands behind the head. Exhale, fingers interlace, palms press away, spread the shoulder blades wide. Let's do two more. Inhale to that little back bend. Keep the elbows hugging in. Exhale as you press the palms away, spine rounds. Last one with your breath. The next time you inhale, let's bring the hands behind the head. And as you exhale, circle your arms all the way behind you. Fingers interlace, palms squeeze together. Inhale, lift the chest up, drawing the shoulders down and away from the ears. Reaching your knuckles down towards the floor. Maybe they press into the mat behind you. See, maybe you can use your hands as a little bit of leverage to lift the chest higher. Maybe the elbows are bent. That's okay too. Just feeling some expansion across the chest, from shoulder to shoulder. And let's soften the elbows. Bring the hands over towards the right hip. So your hands could stay in a fist with a big bend in the elbows, or maybe you Take left hand to that right elbow crease and rest the right hand somewhere comfortably on the body. We're going to drop the chin towards the chest and let the head roll over towards the right. So right ear to right shoulder. Giving yourself a stretch down the left side of the neck. And just taking a few breaths here. Feeling that left shoulder heavy. And dropping it further away from the ear with each exhale. Creating a little more space and length and openness. Slowly let your chin fall back towards your chest. Bring your head on up. Let's sweep the arms overhead. Bring the palms to touch. And then we'll circle arms all the way behind again. Fingers interlace, opposite thumb on top this time, if you remember which one. Squeezing palms together, lift the chest high, that little back bend. Maybe the knuckles press down into the mat. Maybe they don't. Maybe the elbows are bent. That's okay. Just feel the stretch, feel the sensation as the upper body begins to open and wake up. Now let's take a big bend in the elbows. Bring the hands over towards the left side this time. So maybe the hands stay as they are in the hip crease. Maybe you bring the right hand to the left elbow and rest the left hand wherever comfortable on the leg. Drop your chin towards your chest and let the head roll over towards the left. Right shoulder heavy. Big breaths down the right side. Noticing if you're sort of clenching in the face and the jaw, if you can relax your mouth. Smiling sometimes helps. Feel that sensation. And slowly bring your chin back towards your chest. Head comes back up. This time we'll just let both arms relax. And if you're sitting cross-legged, you can switch the cross of your legs, or if you're kneeling, you might want to switch up your seat because we'll do a few more seated stretches here together. We'll start by, actually I'm going to turn a little bit so that you can see what's happening. You stay just as you are. We are going to take a breath in, reach your arms high, and as you breathe out, bend the right elbow so it hand rests somewhere to the top of the spine. Swoop your left arm behind you, bend your left elbow. So the hands are sort of resting somewhere on the back. As you inhale, straighten both arms, and we'll switch. So sweep the left arm up, sweep the right arm back, bend both elbows, hands rest somewhere towards your back. A couple more times. Inhale to start to windmill the arms. As you exhale, elbows bend, hands rest on the back. One more time, breath in. And breath out, bend the elbows. We pause here. So the hands are resting somewhere on the back. That right palm is facing away. Left palm is facing towards you. Maybe you grab onto your shirt. Maybe you can sneak the hands together and grab your fingers. The elbows are pointing up and down. The spine is long, lifting up through the center of the chest. Trying to keep those shoulders a bit away from the ears as you feel the stretch in both shoulders, down the back of the left arm. Take a few more big breaths. And then let's start to release that right hand out to the right off of the mat. Left hand, it can wrap around for the back of the neck or the head as you take a little side bend to the right. Feeling that length down the left side, from your elbow or your shoulder all the way down to your hip. Gently press into the right hand or fingertips to ground the left hip a little more. You can let the weight of your head rest in your left hand. Now bring your gaze to your right leg. Take your left hand somewhere onto the right leg. Slide the right hand behind you for a twist. Sitting up tall, long through the spine, through the neck, heavy through the shoulders. Using your hands just for a little bit of leverage, can you gently draw belly button to spine and feel the twist up and down your entire back? It's so good to twist in the morning, waking up the spine. Let's keep the right hand behind you. Start to untwist and sweep the left hand behind you as well. Fingertips or palms press into the mat. Lift the chest, little back bend. Shoulder blades draw together and down. And start to walk the hands forward, come into a little fold. I'm seeing stars here from being in the sun. Hopefully you are in a nice little spot in the sun. Feeling warm, awake. From your forward fold, walk your hands back. Sit up tall, and we'll do that on the other side. So with an inhale, arms sweep nice and high. And with your exhale, this time the left hand will rest to the top of the spine and the right arm will sweep behind you. Inhale to switch, extending the arms, move them like a windmill, nice and slow. And as you exhale, elbows bend. One more time each side. Nice and slow, just easing into it. And we pause with that right arm on top this time, hand resting to the top of the spine, the left hand somewhere onto the back, palm facing away. Elbows pointing up and down. Again, maybe you can grab onto your shirt. Maybe you can wiggle the fingers closer together. Feel the chest lift, but the ribs pull in. Elbows hugging in towards the center. Take a few big breaths into the sensation. It can get a little bit intense, so if you need to soften the grip, you can. Keep your steady breath, stay tall. Now start to release that left hand down, up beside you, somewhere onto the floor. Right hand cradles the back of the head or the neck as you take your side bend to the left. Pressing gently into the left hand to keep the right hip reaching to the earth. Feeling the stretch down the right side. You can gaze up, roll the right shoulder back a little, or maybe the head is nice and heavy and you're gazing slightly down. Breathe space down the right side in between each rib. Now look down at the left leg. Take the right hand somewhere to the left leg, left hand behind you. Prop yourself up tall for your twist. Again, really relax the shoulders as you lengthen through the entire spine, even the back of the neck, so chin stays level. Hands just helping for a little bit of leverage. Gently draw belly button to spine. And start to unwind, keeping the left hand where it is. The right hand comes behind you. Press into fingertips or palms as you lift the heart high. Feeling the stretch through the front of the throat, across the collarbones. And start to walk the hands forward, back into your fold. Maybe a little sway here if that feels good. Come to stillness if you're swaying. Begin to lift the upper body. Either roll over the legs or swing them around. We're coming into a tabletop position. All fours, wrists under shoulders, knees underneath hips. Fingers are spread wide, but not so wide that they feel strained. Belly button lifting to spine. And then from this position, we'll come up onto the right fingertips like you're making a little tent. And then come up onto the left fingertips. Bring the right palm down, and then the left. Keep going, right, left, right, left. Let's do 3 more. Feeling the forearms start to squeeze as the palms lift. Nice strong grip with the fingertips. Finishing off your last one. Once you've brought that left palm down, bring the right palm up one more time. Stay tented onto the right fingertips. Take a big breath in, reach the left arm up. And as you exhale, thread it through. Do your best to stay on those right fingertips. 2 more times. Inhale, left arm reaches. Roll the shoulder back. Exhale, scoop it underneath of the right. One more time, reach. And thread. This time, inhale, reach. And as you exhale, thread it through all the way, dropping the left shoulder down to the mat. Head maybe rests on the floor or your pillow. Right arm can extend long. It can stay active. Maybe you want to prop up onto those fingertips again or rest the forearm and the elbow down to the mat. Maybe you'd like to sweep the right arm behind you. Whatever you choose. Take a few breaths there. Resting the upper body against the upper arm. Feeling the stretch down the back of the shoulder, the tricep. Take one more big breath in. Let it out slow. Now let's plant that right palm back down into the mat. Inhale, the left arm sweeps high. Open the chest. Exhale, plant it down. So you're just in a plank here on the knees. And bend the elbows lower gently to the mat. Keep hands roughly under shoulders or slightly behind. Elbows hug in, shoulders slide down the back. Inhale, lift the chest, little cobra. Exhale, lower. Take a few more gentle cobras. Feeling the back body engage. The muscles along the spine help to lift the chest. Legs are strong. Thighs squeeze, kneecaps lift. Next time you lift up, let's hold. Keep the back of the neck long so you're gazing somewhere forward and down. Little lift of the low belly. Keep pressing the tops of the feet, maybe even the toenails down into the mat as the elbows reach further back. Take one more breath in. Exhale, softly lower. Let's reach the right arm out long like a wing, coming into broken wing. Press into the left hand as you roll to the right side. You can stack the legs, rest the head on the floor or pillow. You can step your left foot behind you like a little kickstand, maybe getting a bit of opening through that left hip. You can be passive, let the body sink into the shape, or if you'd like, press into the right palm a little bit to feel that stretch across the chest and the arm a little bit more. Feel the breath here. Feel the body. And slowly roll back onto your stomach. Slide forearms onto the mat, elbows underneath, shoulders coming into a sphinx. Elbows either under the shoulders or slightly ahead of them. Press into the hands, to the forearms as you feel the chest begin to lift. Feet can be really wide to the corners of your mat or about hip-width apart. Again, you can choose to be a little more active, let the body sink into the shape. You can choose to be a little more passive and let the body sink down. Or you can be a little more active and feel the lift. And the kneecaps lift, the thighs squeeze. Pressing into the forearms, the chest lifts higher. The back of the neck stays long. Now wherever you are, start to press into the forearms. Start to lift the low belly as you press into the knees, lifting up into a little forearm plank. Not here for too long, but really draw the ribs in. Feel the shoulder blades spread wide. Feel the neck long, the center of the chest reach forward. And then start to crawl the knees underneath of the hips, coming into melting heart or puppy pose, bringing the forehead down to the mat. You can choose to be a little more relaxed as you sink into the shape. Or you can press into the forearms, the hands, maybe the elbows even lift off the mat. As you lift the inner thighs, feel them spiral in towards each other. Feel the belly button hug towards the spine and the ribs knit in. And feel the breath. The shape's waking you up, but the breath also waking you up. Wherever you are, start to slide hands underneath of shoulders. You're back into your tabletop, and we're going to do that on the other side. So set up with the fingers spread wide, and then we'll come up onto the left fingertips, making that tent, and then the right. Bring the left palm down. And then the right. Keep going, left. Really dig into the fingertips like you're gonna make dents onto the mat. Keeping the arms straight, the core lifted. We've got about 2 more. You might start to feel the forearms here. That's very normal. The front of the arms getting a little bit more attention. Finish off that last one. Then come up onto the left fingertips. Inhale, reach the right arm up, open. Exhale, thread it underneath of the left. You can let that left elbow bend. Inhale to reach up. And exhale, thread it through. One more time, big reach. And thread through. This time we'll reach. And then come all the way down, bringing right shoulder, arm to the mat. Head rest down on the floor or a block. You can always rest your head on your left hand as well. Or you can stretch your left arm out long and take a few moments to get settled. We're just here for a few breaths. So if you'd like to stay active, lifting the left elbow and forearm, you could definitely do that. Or you can reach the left arm behind you as you feel the upper body rest on the right arm. Breathing into where you feel it, the sensation. Creating more space where things might feel a little bit tight or stuck. Now start to slide the left hand onto the mat in front of your face. Press into the left palm, reach the right arm up. And bring the right hand down and lower all the way down to the mat. This time we'll bring the hands behind the head, so fingers interlace. Elbows open out wide. You can rest your forehead on the mat for a moment. Squeeze the thighs, press into the tops of the feet, lift the low belly, and then start to inhale. Lift the head, the shoulders, keep the elbows wide. Exhale, lower. We keep going. Inhale to lift. Exhale to lower. And this might be a little more difficult than before because the hands aren't there to help. So the spine needs to work a little more. Keep the shoulders sliding away from the ears. You might not lift up as high, and that is totally fine. Next time you lift up, hold. Keep the legs strong. Feel the spine lengthen, the elbows open out wide like wings. And then slowly lower down. This time the left arm comes out long. Right hand under right shoulder, roll to the left side. Little broken wing again. And you can stack the legs or step the right foot behind you. You can stay passive, or you can press into the left hand. Feel that stretch across the chest and the shoulder. And slowly roll back onto the stomach. Lifting the upper body, sliding forearms onto the mat, elbows shoulder width apart. Pressing into the forearms, the palms, the feet, lift the chest. Feel the shoulders slide down the back. You're welcome to stay here, or if you'd like to take it a little bit more, if you'd like a little more intensity, you can take the hands a little bit wider. Be gentle. You might take the feet a little wider as well to give yourself more space in the low back. Start to press into the hands and begin to lift the elbows. Maybe just an inch off the mat, maybe a couple, into a seal. If this is too much, you can always lower back down into your Sphinx. Keep pressing into the tops of the feet, lifting the chest. Couple big breaths up and down the spine. And if the elbows are lifted, lower them back down. Bring the forearms back to parallel, shoulder width apart. Press into the knees, draw the low belly up as you lift the hips up. You could stay here or tuck the toes, lift the knees into your forearm plank on the toes. Keep feeling the shoulder blades spread away from each other, the ribs pull in. Keep feeling your breath, gazing somewhere between the elbows or the thumbs. Strong as you push the floor away, but draw everything in towards the center. Then gently bring the knees down if they're lifted. One more melting heart. Hips are lifted above the knees. Toes can be tucked or untucked. Forehead to the mat, maybe you sink into a little bit of relaxation or stay active. You could come up onto the fingertips if you'd like to give yourself a little more space in the shoulders. If it gets too intense, arms can come a little bit wider. But be where you need to be. And breathe. From here, you could either make your way all the way onto your stomach, if possibly you're still in crutches, or you can send your hips towards your heels. And let the arms just come by the side so your hands rest by your feet. Into a little child's pose with the knees as wide as you'd like. Spine rounding. When you're ready, start to slide hands under shoulders or press yourself up if you were down onto your front side. We're going to come on up and grab our pillow again and finish just as we started, bringing that pillow somewhere to the back of the mat so that you can lay down onto it, lowering the upper back, the shoulders, maybe the head resting on the pillow or resting on the floor. Take your arms out wide again, as wide as feels comfortable for you. And close your eyes. And breathe. Breathe into all of the space that you just created in your body, in your mind, and in your heart. Allowing yourself to be still after that movement. Maybe finding yourself grateful for being able to move any way that you can. Maybe it's not the way that you always used to be able to move, or it's not the way that you thought that you could at this point. Either way, finding a little bit of gratitude in what you can do and what your body is capable of. And you might take a deep breath and stretch the arms wide again, reaching from fingertip to fingertip. Giving yourself another big hug, maybe grabbing the shoulders, rocking a little side to side. And you can rock over if you'd like, slowly making your way to a seat, or just stay as you are. The choice is always yours. I thank you both so much for joining me for this practice. And if there is anybody that has any requests for April, feel free to let me know in the comments, anything that you want to work on or any areas of the body that you'd like to get into. I am always happy to give you what you want. I wish you an absolutely beautiful Monday, and I hope that we can move together again very soon.